Okay. Yeah. You don't know what your life's going to be like in the future. For example, I can do something today that can possibly affect me in the future. Going to school and not doing my grades. It can possibly affect what school I go and if I go for football and all of that. It'll be difficult. So I do agree with the quote, the future is like the present, only longer. You don't really know how things can work out in terms of another example I can actually use is when I moved from California to Washington. I wasn't really sure of what's going to happen to me over there and how my life would really change. So I moved up there and it was a little different, and it actually helped me because of the fact that I was doing a lot better in school, and it actually allowed me to do better and to have just an overall greater life, because in California I didn't have such a great life, and with school and being in a Hispanic neighborhood, it wasn't as great for me. So when I moved up to Washington, it was more of getting to know a little bit about myself and to get better as a person, and actually it felt like it would change a little bit of my future in terms of how I got better at all the things that I did, and I was improving everything that I was doing with school and with friends. So basically, when I moved back down here, I came back knowing I had a better sense of things, I had a better sense of life, and I had a better sense of how my mind was focused, my mind was straight, and I was really just concentrating on how my life would be better in the future. So it was difficult at first, but now I know how to. I have a better understanding of how things are going to be for me if I do work on them, and if I just continue on doing what I can do, I know I can be successful, and I can be a better person overall, and whatever awaits for me in the future is going to happen, and you just never know when you're really going to get to that future point in time. So it's more of it's a long process. You don't really know what's going to happen. So I do agree with the quote saying the future like the present, because only longer, you never know how long it's going to take for you to get there, and we'll see it, time will tell.
All right, JB, I thought that you had a nice personal example. You use it throughout the presentation. You use it in your attention device. You kind of use it as a way to explain what the thesis is. When you get involved in the content of the speech, you're sticking with that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it would help if it had a little bit more structure to it, because it just seems sometimes like you're meandering on that subject and just trying to remember the next thing or come up with something else that connects to it. Instead of having a plan, here's the objective that I want to get to at the end of the presentation. So you found plenty to talk about, but it doesn't seem very purposeful, and it's not really progressing toward an end point as clearly as you would like it to. On the presentation issues, we can hear you, but I think you could be a little bit more confident and commanding in projecting your voice. The pacing is slow, and that really is, I think, an indicator in this situation of uncertainty or a little bit of anxiety about what you're going to be talking about. Your gestures, though, you've got some nice descriptive gestures, some good indicators while you're talking. Your facial expressions, I think that you do look thoughtful while you're speaking to us, but you're not always engaging us. Sometimes you're kind of thinking to yourself just in front of us. But when you do look at the audience, you do make pretty good contact. You've got some nervous shifting in your weight, nervous shifting of your weight around right at the beginning of the speech, and then later on it kind of comes back, and I thought that those were the big indicators: your voice, your feet, and the pacing that you were going at of any anxiety issues. You had an okay exit line. And you did ultimately make a point and come back to that point, but I just think it needed to have a little bit more progression and drive in it instead of wandering around on the subject. All right, thank you.